Welcome to the Sarah Scoop Show. It's time to get the scoop with Sarah. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Sarah Scoop Show. We are going to be talking to Brianne Manz from Stroller in the City.
Hello.
Hello! How are you today?
How are you?
Good. Everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Sarah Scoop Show. I'm so excited to be chatting with you. We get to talk all things blogging and your business and life in New York. Let's just kick things off with, where did Stroller in the City start?
Stroller in the City started in my living room 11 years ago at this point. And it was about a year after my son was born. And I left the fashion industry to become a full-time mom. And then I guess I was craving some kind of like creative outlet. And loving Sex in the City, of course, I was like, oh, I'm going to start something for friends and family called Stroller in the City. And yeah, it was mainly for friends and family.
Awesome. And what has been like your favorite part then about getting to create such a successful online website and influencing everyone? What's your favorite part about all of this?
I think because it happened so organically, I didn't know about paid partnerships. I didn't know about anything for the first few years. So I feel like as, I got busier and I had more kids, I think everything was just organically. I mean, I think my favorite thing right now, well, it's kind of been on pause, but is traveling with my family and getting to discover like all these like new places. It's become a passion of mine. I mean, obviously we're not doing that now, but I hope to do that sometime next year again and pick up because we were a family on the go last year. So I miss that. And that's probably my favorite for sure.
And you share a lot, like, life in New York City. What is it like raising a family there?
Well, I grew up here, so it's the norm for me. For me, I love the hustle and the bustle, and I love the fact that we can walk everywhere. I'm not that person. For me, like to throw three kids in a car seat was like way harder than to like get them in the stroller to go, downstairs in our elevator. And as big as New York City may seem, I feel like you do know your neighbors and you do see someone every single day and there's no isolation whatsoever, as opposed to if you were in a big house. Sometimes, I know my friends say like, oh my God, we haven't seen anybody in like 3 days. And I'm like, wait, what? And that's like so not the norm for us. But I just love everything. They're exposed to culture. They're exposed to just so much here.
Beforehand, like I put out, questions. I know a lot of people were just asking for advice. I think it's really cool how you started just for fun, but so many people now, they want to start, but it's a lot more intimidating to blog or be an influencer, that kind of thing.
I can see that for sure. And there's so much competition out there, but I think write about what you know, write about what you're passionate about, and others will follow. And you're not gonna, all of a sudden jump like a crazy amount of followers, overnight. And I think the ones that you do have, engage with them, talk to them, see what they want from you, for sure. But yeah, it's not easy to, I'm sure, get started at this point at all. But I think whatever you think that you have, like a niche in the market, like start writing about it. You know what I mean? Just start. That's like the first place too. And I feel like a lot of people are like, I don't know. And I'm like, go to WordPress because that's where you should start on your blog and just start writing. And you don't even have to tell anybody yet. Just like start with the articles and that, you feel confident in writing and that you're an expertise in. And I feel like there's room for everyone.
I love that. And so when you are blogging and things, like it is very hard. And I know like it's not everything that people see on Instagram isn't your life. Like you have all these other things that go into it. What is a normal day? It's probably a little different, but a typical day like for you as an influencer, blogger, running Stroller in the City, the whole business?
Well, it's definitely chaotic and you don't really see a lot of the behind the scenes. And I know I have to like be better at actually filming those behind the scenes. Every day is different, so like some days, before this COVID, it would be some days we'd be going to an event and there'd be this like great event happening in New York City. So we'd stop there in the morning. And then I had a shared workspace at the wing. So we'd go there, which was so amazing. I'm so sad that it's like, I think it's still closed at this point. I have an assistant, I have a photographer, I have a videographer, I have a VA who I've never met and just like corresponded over, text and phone. So there's a lot of other people too behind the scenes that make this all go together and work. So it's answering emails, it's conference calls. It's like it's a full-time job. You know, it's not just like, oh, the you know, it was something that I was able to do at home, yes, 100%, but now it's become something more where I do need a babysitter to help me with the kids because you cannot do both.
I love how transparent you're being about it. Like it is a lot goes into this.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot that goes into it for sure. And like, I feel like too, it's not a typical 9 to 5 job. So 5 o'clock doesn't roll around and I'm like, okay, I'm done for the day. Like I'm still answering emails at night. Like I still wake up early in the morning to get things done before the kids wake up. So there is a lot of hustle that goes on with this as well that I don't think a lot of people talk about. Like you're constantly pitching too at this point. And, you know, you're talking to brands that maybe you worked with last year and you're like, hey, let's partner together this year. So it's a lot of pitching work that goes involved, you know, on as well.
With your fashion background, can you talk a little bit about what you did before I know you were working in fashion, then you became a stay-at-home mom, then you got back into fashion in your business of your own, but what was it that you were doing in the fashion world before that?
So I worked at showrooms right out of college, actually even during college. I worked at Laundry by Shelley Siegel, then I moved over to Earl Jean, and while I was at Earl Jean, I was doing West Coast sales, so I was traveling to the West Coast all the time, which was so much fun. And then as I was showing with other designers, a lot of designers kind of encouraged me. They said, why don't you just open your own showroom? So I was like, I don't know. So I decided to open my own showroom, and we had 10 different designers at the time, and our business was booming. It was amazing. And then I was pregnant, and I kind of like had a panic attack, like, oh my God, like, how am I going to travel to all these places? We had a showroom not only in New York, but one in LA and Atlanta. So I was like, how am I going to manage all of this? So the girl who worked for me basically bought it from me, and she still has it till today, which is awesome. So we still talk all the time, and you know, her designers have changed through the years, which is always so fun to see. But yeah, the showroom is still there. It's called Seamless Showroom, and she sells to, you know, either boutiques to high-end department stores. So that's great. And then, yeah, and then the blog, I always focused on kid fashion and mom fashion, because fashion is still like, you know, a big thing for me. And then I decided to start my own line, probably like, I want to say like December, January of this year. So, yeah, we started a Mommy and Me collection, and it's kind of like the Amazon drop. So we're trying to keep it sustainable and to only cut to order. So we did our first drop and we sold out of everything, which was great. You know, we met the minimum, and then now we're going to release another, like a holiday drop in about a week.
I love this. You have so many amazing like projects going on and all of this stuff. Like, do you have any tips for people that, you know, want to stay organized when they want to have all these big dreams happen too?
Oh my God, I'm crazy organized, and I think that that's what makes me, like, I don't know, but we did find this system that my assistant and I work on. It's called Trello. It's actually free. Do you guys use that? I don't know.
I've tried around with it a little bit, but maybe you have some tips on Trello to make it like.
I don't know. I feel like I write everything down too. And another thing, like I keep track of everything. Like I have a book, like I write everything down in it. If I get a pitch from someone and you don't know if it's going to turn into a job or not, I write that down. So like, oh wait, they didn't get back to me in a week. Like, let me like follow up with them, you know, or I saw something that I would want to partner with. Like, let me write that down. Like, I write everything down, and I'm like super like time management focused on that. So I'll go over like my to-do list every day. So I always have a to-do list. I think that's key too. Write the important things at the top, and then, you know, just carry it over like week to week. I have like a shoot list, like what am I shooting with? And my assistant and I go back and forth on Trello. And I think it's like the best way of communicating. Like Slack to me is like a whole other world. Like I don't understand that. I don't understand Slack. Like I can't do it. But with Trello, it was like pretty focused, and there's like a done section, and there's like nothing more gratifying than like putting your little job that you're supposed to do into the done pile, that you checked it off your list. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how I stay organized, I guess.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think like really just good tips that people can take away is awesome. So thank you for sharing that. And I know exactly what you mean, because you can like slide it over. You can be like working on it, done. have a visual.
Totally, totally. I need all the visual that I can get. Like Pinterest doesn't do it for me. Like I need like 3D.
When it comes to your inspiration for things or even like brands you want to work with or ideas, where are you generating these? Are they just coming like, I'm going to sit down and write this blog post? Is it all just who you are and what you're writing? Or do you have an inspiration board, kind of like you're talking about Trello? Is there anything that
Yeah,
you...
I mean, definitely seasonal stuff as
Mhm.
well. So I feel like I usually focus on the season. So, you know, Halloween's coming up and Thanksgiving and Christmas. So we love to like do a recipe during these times and fashion for like fall fashion. So I always pay attention to like the seasons and the trends and stuff like that. But yeah, if there's something like a recipe I want to share, I'll share it. And it is kind of there's no rhyme or reason to like what we're sharing. If we're traveling somewhere, you know, like let's write about it. Is it family friendly? Like sort of to like what my readers will like. And now with Instagram, I feel like it's easy to pull like, hey, do you guys want the recipe? I'll share it. And if it gets a lot of the votes, then I'll share it. So it's just kind of like asking to the audience, like, what are you guys looking for? Like the other day I posted like a fall fashion piece on me, and I usually do like, I always focus more so on the kids than myself, and it did so well. And I was like, oh, you know what? We should focus more on like fashion for moms, you know, because that did really well. So, you know, it's just kind of, you know, trial and error a lot of the times too.
I think it's awesome how you incorporate your life, like being a mom and all of that. And you're also the co-host for the Us Weekly show. So if you want to kind of explain that, how it got started and kind of what you do there.
Yeah, so that was kind of crazy. That was a job that actually came out of COVID. So they contacted me and they asked me if I want to co-host a show, and it was in trial mode, I guess, for the first couple of weeks, and it does well each week, so they keep me on, which is great. Like every week I'm kind of like, is this really happening? Like, am I really like with Us Weekly right now having my own like Moms Like Us show? Like it's kind of weird, but it's super fast to shoot. I adore my co-host, Christina, and I work with another woman over there that writes our script and stuff like that for us. So it's super easy for me. It's not really time consuming either, because the script is already done. So I know what we're talking about, and we're talking about celebrities, which is so much fun. And I kind of feel like I used to read Us Weekly all the time before kids, and now I'm lucky if I read, usually I'll get like Us Weekly when I'm in the airport, you know, and I'm like, that's like my guilty pleasure. And now I get to catch up on it. And I'm like, oh my God, some of the celebrities, I don't even know who they are, you know? So it's fun to like brush up on all the celebs and the gossip and see what's going on with who. But yeah, and if I want to like plug anything, they're so sweet. Like I plugged my line on there, which was great. And we offered all readers a 10% discount. And yeah, so it comes out, it's every Thursday, 3 o'clock. So there's a new episode coming out today, and it's on Us Weekly's YouTube channel.
So you were saying like this opportunity came out of, you know, just COVID, and it wasn't something you were like seeking after, but obviously it's a great fit. How do you know when to say no and when to say yes at this point when you start getting opportunities?
It's hard. I say yes to so much, and it's bad. And I like have this like problem that I have to start saying no. I just feel bad sometimes, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it. You know, it's hard. I think you have to just like really, like I think I have to start not answering so quickly and just really take a step back and be like, okay, does this fit? You know, does this fit my world? You know, what can I benefit from something like this? You know what I mean? Or what can I give to this? Because I also don't want to half-ass things either. So I think you have to just weigh it out and see like how it works in your life. Like, do you have time for this? Like I was asked to do something else and they didn't have a budget. And I was kind of like, you know, like this is like it's a 3-hour thing for me, and I have to value my time too. So I think we all have to value our time as well.
We're going to play a quick little game called 10 Scoops so that we can just get to know little fun facts about you that I'm sure your followers probably could be curious about. So let's just have some fun with it. Okay. These will be quick and just as you want to answer them. But if you want to explain anything, feel free.
Okay.
Favorite food?
Favorite food, eggplant parmesan.
Favorite city?
Favorite city, I'm going to say Paris.
A quote that you live by?
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie, oh God, I don't know my favorite movie.
I totally thought you were going to say Sex and the City.
Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, that is a movie. Yeah, so let's say Sex and the City. Perfect.
Your must-have fashion or beauty item.
I love Summer Friday's scrub, face scrub. I love the rosé one. It really, you see a difference in one-time use.
Is there any go-to, even like with fall, like something you think everyone should invest in and staple for their closet?
A duster. I love a good duster, especially for fall. And as far as brands, I think if you follow me enough, you'll know that like I'm obsessed with Love Shack Fancy. I love everything about them, and they have an amazing duster right now. Actually, they have a few. So that's been definitely my fave.
What's your favorite thing about living in New York City?
Oh my God, everything. I love the people. I love the culture. I love the museums. I love like the energy and the vibe. I love it all.
And is there a TV show that you've been binge watching with this extra time inside?
Well, I just finished Emily in Paris, which was so good on Netflix. That was awesome, and I can't wait for season 2 if they make it.
I'm like halfway into it. I gotta like sit down and focus on it because everyone is raving about that show. They're like, love it. Is it just like a feel good? Is that why everyone's
I
all
think
about
so.
it?
I think it's like it reminds me so much of Sex in the City, you know, but it's taken place in Paris, and I think because so many people want to travel right now, they're not traveling, and like, you know, it's just like a lot of the things are just, you know, what's going on in, you know, just everything, you know. So it's like a mindless good TV to watch right now.
What's your favorite social media platform?
Definitely Instagram, I think, for sure.
And if you could share a scoop of ice cream with anyone, who would it be?
I don't know. Like a celebrity wise, like I don't know, maybe
Yeah,
like
we can do a celebrity. We'll say pick a celebrity.
Bradley Cooper. That would be fun.
That's fun. I like that. Thanks for participating in our little fun game. That'll be fun for readers to get to know you a little more. With everything going on, like, do you have more stuff coming up in the works that people can tune in? I know, like, will we hear more about your fashion line, or you have more releases coming up? All of those things.
So we have another drop, a holiday drop coming out in a week or two. So we're just waiting for samples, and we have to photograph everything. So we're waiting for that. And then what else is going on? We're still recording Us Weekly, which is so much fun. Trying to think what else is going on. I think that's it for now. We're just moving full speed ahead. Oh, I'm designing a house. Like, so we decided to buy a house. So we're in the process of like redoing everything in the house, which wasn't the plan, but it is now. So I'm going to be sharing a lot about home design and interior design, which I never really shared that much. Like transitioned my kids' room to 3, like a triple bunk, and that did so well. So I feel like this will be a fun project for me for sure.
And will you be moving to that house, or are you
We're going to
in the city?
Home. So it's going to be a second home. We'll be there on the weekends and stuff like that.
So we'll still be getting our New York City content.
Of course, of course.
If you just have advice with everyone, like we were mentioning earlier, like there are so many people doing this now. How is it that you stay in your own lane? Like to not get comparison overload all the time, and with all these projects, I mean, I'm sure it happens to you, but there's no way you could be having all these projects and being worried about everybody else. So how is it that you...
Yeah, I think you have to keep your head down. I think you have to keep your head down. Like, don't look what someone else is doing. Don't look at how many campaigns that other person is doing. Just like you do you, and let everyone else do them. Like, I don't look up half the time. Like, I was having a conversation with 2 moms who are not influencers a couple of weeks ago, and they're like, well, did you see so-and-so? She's doing this and so-and-so. And I'm like, no. I'm like, I'll follow them, but like I'm not paying attention. Like I'll, obviously scroll through Instagram like all the time, but I kind of just really just keep my head down and just kind of focus on like my people, like my kids and my work, and just really trying to produce like really amazing content.
I love that. And speaking of like your family and with everything, you have 3 children, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just something fun I think that would be interesting is, where did you come up with their names?
Ryder, my son, I loved. I just love the name.
Mm-hmm.
Ciela was definitely made up because I loved Ciela. I love Stella, Sienna. So I kind of just married the 2. Mm-hmm. And then Gemma was like another name that I just like loved. But I will say a fun fact. They all have 2 middle names. I don't have a middle name, something that I always like yelled at my mom about. I don't know why. She just didn't give me a middle name. So they have 2 because I didn't have one.
I love that. I figured like with their names, being unique, like I was like, oh, she's creative. She's got to have a story with this. So I love that you like just kind of made your own names with some
Yeah,
of them.
kind of made it up. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing and chatting with me today. If people want to, what is the best way? Like if they want to just reach out to you, I know they can
Yeah.
follow you.
I'm happy to answer any questions. You can just DM me on Instagram. That would be, totally fine. Or email me, Brianne at strollerinthecity.com. I'm happy to answer emails. Like, I hope, I'm just going to say, if you want to get started, just start. Just like, don't hold back anything. Just start writing. You know what I mean? Even if you don't even set up a website yet, just like start writing like in Word, you know what I mean? Like on the computer, and just, it'll come together.
I think that's amazing because so many people, it is hard. Like I know so many people that even reach out and they're like, I want to start, I'm going to start. And they do it, but then they stop. They like start, they write one post, it doesn't just take off. And so I love talking to people like you that are like, it doesn't happen overnight. Like you have to work towards this. You have to keep being consistent and keep going.
Yeah, exactly. You got to keep going, and you got to spark something in your readers. You know what I mean? What is your readers looking for? If you're a skier and you're a ski family, then write about skiing. Like people are going to Google you and going to find that. And the other thing is too, I will say, always have, you want to become an influencer, you want to do all this stuff, you need a blog. I know a lot of people, some people don't have blogs, but your blog is searchable. That is what people find when they look at Google. They don't find your Instagram account. They're not finding that. They're finding, like, people Google all day. Like I Google all day long, I'm sure a lot of other people do. And I feel like definitely have a blog. Like you need that because that will last forever. Who knows Instagram platforms, you don't know if they're going to last forever. So always start with a blog because that will always be yours, and that you own that and no one can mess with that.
I love that. That is like the best advice. And everyone can go check out yours at just strollerinthecity.com.
Yep.
So everyone go check it out. You have some really great content. Like I was like, this is so pretty.
Thank you.
This stuff on there. So thank you so much for everything. I can just keep talking to you all day. You're just so great. Thank you for just being real and authentic. Look forward to keep following along with you.
Yeah, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for watching The Sarah Scoop Show. Head to sarahscoop.com for more.